Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn the unit 1 which I have completed in the previous session. The revision class is there for you people. The revision class. Okay. The definite questions and the definite answers and the definite things we are going to learn now. The first one is, what is an operating system? The first question is, define operating system. It may be the question, it may be the topic. It comes to the operating system. When it comes to the operating system, the definition clearly tells us that it acts as interface between user and system. What do you mean by that one? How it is going to work? What do you mean by that interface between the hardware, that is computer system, and user? The question arises, the answer is in the form of diagrammatical. Here is the diagram. So one is, first layer will be the users, user 1, user 2, user n, up to n users. So coming to the system applications, one question is that I will write the program that will be part of user. ಸಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರದೆ ಅದು ಯಾರ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರ ಯೂಸರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಯೂಸರ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಕಂಪೈಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್? ದ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ವಿಚ್ ರಿಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ system software andre system application antandre it may be your compiler, it may be your interpreter, it may be your what do you call, loader, it may be your linker. These all are the system applications. When you write a program, you are going to type a cc. That cc is going to call the system application. This system application, what it is going to do, it will rise on a system call. It will rise on a system call. What is a system call? We had discussion in the previous sections. So it will rise a system call. That system call will be taken by the operating system. That operating system is going to provide you a hardwares. What do you require? What do you require? See this thing. For user and computer hardware, the interface is which one? Operating system. This is what a definition. For example, give the example of operating system. Windows, Linux, Windows 10 olagade, Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8, Linux olagade, Red Hat, Fedora, and Ubuntu. These all are the example for the operating system. Yes, of course, we had discussion like this. ಇದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. Whether it is clear, the definition of operating system is clear to you people? Raise your hand if it is clear. So the diagram is itself called as what operating system is going to do for us. ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಹೆಸರು ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what operating system is going to do or does. What operating system is going to do here. Coming the next concept, why we are going to use the operating system, what is the help of the operating system anta bandaga, we are going to discuss the functions here. We are going to discuss the functions of the operating system. What are the functions of the operating system here? One is process management. Second one is IO management. Third one is memory management. Fourth one is CPU scheduling, file management. Let me discuss one by one here. As I mentioned, if a program is loaded onto the memory, there is no space, I will write like this. If a program is loaded onto the memory, then it is known as a process. Then it comes to the process P1. When the P1 is there, P1 bantu antandra, the P1 will be sent to the CPU. Thus P1 will be sent to the CPU. If P1 requires IO, that is input output, that will be sent to the input output queue. CPU ಕ್ಯೂ ಗರೆ ಕಳಿಸಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ IO ಕ್ಯೂ ಗರೆ ಕಳಿಸಬಹುದು. ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾವ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತೀರಿ. ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಲೈನ್, ಒನ್ ಅನದರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ IO ಒಳಗಡೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ. P3 P2 P1 ಇದ್ರ ಕ್ಯೂ ಒಳಗದ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯೂ. P1 P2 P3 ಇದು ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಅನದರ್. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು, ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ IO ಯಾರು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರ, ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ CPU ಯಾರು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರ ಅಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಲೋಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಶನ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುದು, ಡಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುದು, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡುದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆಮರಿ ಒಳಗಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದು ಅದನ್ನ CPU ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡುದು. ಆ CPU ಒಳಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದನ್ನ CPU ದಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಅದನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾನಿಶ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಯಾರ್ದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್? ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡುದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ process management. Have you got this one? So now come to the part, that is second part, IO management. See my dear students, what happens, P1 is going to ask for the input mouse. It will be request. Immediately that request will be granted if only if the mouse is free. In the sense, P2 is holding the mouse. If P1 is asking for the mouse, in the sense, the mouse will not be allocated. The mouse will not be allocated because it is already present with the P2. How it does sense? BCA third sem students are in the OS class. Can Java class will be run for the students? No, it is not possible because you are with me. Until I release you people, the further lecturer cannot take you to the class. This is what a thing. This all is managed by it is running with the OS class. You cannot take. Yes, of course, now OS class is over. You can take for the BCA third semester. Whose work it is? I told it is a HOD's work. Here already P2 is with mouse is with P2. You cannot request for you cannot be allocated for a mouse whose work is OS. What OS is allocating and deallocating? IO devices. It may allocate mouse, it may allocate keyboard, it may allocate monitor, it may allocate printer. What it is doing? It is managing the IO devices. That's what called as IO management. Whether it is clear to you people? Raise your hands. Whether it is clear to you people, raise your hand. If it is clear, IO management is clear, please raise your hands. What about other students? Arfat. Until you give the sign and cannot move in front. That is a ಮುಂದಿನ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. Well, if it is clear, I'm going to jump for the next topic. Whether board is visible? Raise your hand if it is board is visible. After completion of the IO management, the next topic is memory management. What do you mean by the memory management? Just I will discuss. P4 is there, that is a process 4 is going to come here. Some memory is there. The 4 slots of the memory, assume that 0, 1, 2, 3 are there. P1 wants to enter into the memory. That is a program 4 is want to enter into the memory. But already P0, P1, P2, P3. The program is going to request, I want a memory space. I want a memory space. So what OS is going to do now? OS requested, accept the request, and it will check. It will come to here. Is there any slot is empty? Yaudare slot empty adana? No. So ಈ empty slots ಅನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟಾಗ ಯಾವುದು empty slots ಸಿಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Now what I need to do now? Whether P1 is P0 is over? No. P1 is over? No. P2 is over? No. P3 is over? No. ಯಾವುದು process is complete ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. There is a no option. It will send the message. It will send the message for P4 until some process come out from the memory. You need to wait. The process is going to request for the memory. The slots are not available for P4. The OS is going to send the message. There is a no memory for you. There is a no memory for you. You have to wait up to a process come out. Now what happens? The P0 is going to complete its task. P0 in ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ it completes its tasks. The OS now, okay, this is completed. What it is going to do? The P0 na remove ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತತಿ. ಯಾರು? OS. Now one slot is empty. What it is going to do now? This space will be allocated. This space will be allocated for P4. Who is going to allocate and deallocate the memory? Whose work it is? That is the function. OS idondu ಕೆಲಸ ಅದು. That is a operating system work. Function of operating system. Have you clear with the memory management? Have you clear with the memory management? What happens next? The next one is the CPU scheduling. The next one is CPU scheduling. What do you mean by the CPU scheduling? Let me understand what is the CPU scheduling now. Here the CPU is present. You need to represent CPU like this, oval. You need to represent the processes as circle. Lakshya P3, P4. P1, P2, P3, P4 are the four processes. One to OS, one to OS and CPU. A single CPU can execute only one program at a time. Only one CPU can execute only one program at a time. What do you mean by that? If P1 is there inside the process, if P1 is there inside the process, these three are not allowed into the CPU. As I am telling that OS class is going to run, another three classes or three lecturers are waiting for you people to teach the subject. The same thing happens. If OS class is running, no other class teachers or subject teachers can enter into your classrooms. That is what scheduling the classroom instead of scheduling the CPU. So what happens here? What happens? Wait for a while. So what happens here? When a single CPU is there, we need to schedule the CPU. So in case how to schedule the CPU? Who is going to manage the schedule? That is OS. It will block the other processes enter into the CPU until this comes out. So what happens if? Why we need to schedule? Yak schedule ಮಾಡಬೇಕು CPU ಅನ್ನ? Assume that the P1 is of 1 hour. 1 hour CPU is given to the P1. In the sense, it may cause the problem of starvation. That is, waiting problem ಅನ್ನ create ಮಾಡ್ತತಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನು 1 hour class ಅನ್ನ 3 hours ನಾನೇ ತಗೊಳಿಕತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what happens? The work of mine is going to be good. Mine syllabus is going to be under control, but the other syllabus is also we have to think. That's why HOD is going to allocate 1 hour for OS, 1 hour for DC, 1 hour for Java, 1 hour for English, like this. The same thing, it is going to schedule CPU. You have to enter for 2 minutes. You have to enter for 2 minutes. You have to enter in 2 minutes. Like that, it is going to schedule the CPU. The CPU in Martandra, CPU one schedule for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you have to come out. You need to allow for the other process. Have you clear with the CPU scheduling? Have you clear with the CPU scheduling? That it is going to schedule a CPU for the processes. It is going to schedule the CPU for the processes. Have you? So what happens now? Next, the one is file management. It is going to manage the files. How a file is created. If you want to create a file, you need to request OS because the file is going to store in the memory. File management is done by the OS because the files are going to store in the memory. Akash brother, down your hand. The file is going to create. It will ask for the permission. I want to create a file. Then if memory is available, it is going to produce a file creation. After file creation, the file will be stored here in the memory. If you want to open the file, you need to request open. Then the OS is going to open this file. If you want to close, the close function is going to be called by the OS. If you want to read, read andre enre fetch madudu, read andre enu fetch madudu, reading, write andre edit madudu. These all are the functions can be managed by the OS. That is why file is managed by the OS. That is called as file management. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this 5 points? These 5 points are clear to you people, I think. Whether it is clear? Well, my dear students, after completing the function, we had a discussion about the types of operating system. There are 5 types of operating system. There are various types of operating systems. Still 2 operating systems are there. They are not for your syllabus. The one is batch operating system. Second one is multi-programming. Third one is multitasking. Fourth one is real-time operating system. Fifth one is distributed system. Let me learn one by one again. What is that? Briefly, I am going to take you to the class of types of operating system. What is that? Batch operating system. What do you mean by the batch operating system? There are 2 users. Assume that there are 2 users. What this user is going to do, they are going to punch the requirements on card, that is punch card. The 2 users are going to be punch the data in the punch card. Here is operator is there. Here one operator is there. What he is going to do is going to collect these punch cards. Then he is going to prepare a batch of these punch cards. On the batch ana prepare madbidtana of these punch cards if they are related. I had a discussion. I given an example of girls batch and boys batch of the lab. The girls batch and boys batch of the lab is done by me. I'm the operator. Okay. So after this preparation of batch, this batch will be inserted into the system, that is OS. Then OS is going to operate those batches. If any result of found, that will be returned. Then he is going to tell the result is like this to these people. So what is the disadvantage? There is a lack in communication between a direct communication between a system and user. One of the disadvantages, there is a no communication, direct communication with the operating system. There exists a in between media, that is operator. That is operator. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. You have clear idea about a batch operating system. Have you clear idea about a batch operating system? Raise your hands. Well, my dear students, next thing is the multi-programming operating system. The next we are going to study is that is multi-programming system. So the multi-programming system means I got one disadvantage in a batch operating system, that is lack of communication between a user interface, that is a user, and a system, that is operating system. So what happens in the multi-programming? What happens in the multi-programming? P1 is there, P2 is there, P3 is there. Then OS is there, CPU is there. CPU is there. What OS is going to do now? The OS is going to put the process P1 inside the CPU. What happens now? Can P2 is able to access the CPU? No, until P1 comes out. The multi-programming system hengada antandra, if P1 igna allocate madini antandra, P2 and P3 have to wait up to the P1 comes out from the CPU. It may take a 2 hour, it may take a 1 hour, it may take a 3 hours. Once P1 comes out, the P2 is going to be allocated. Then P3 is going to be allocated. Okay. Well, what happens here? What happens? Innondu disadvantage ittu nanaga batch operating system olagade. If there is no batches, the system sits idle. The system sits idle. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ P1 execute ಆಗ್ಲಿಕತ್ತದ CPU ಒಳಗ. P1 ಗೆ IO interaction ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. P1 ಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು? IO interaction ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. So what happens here? It will come out for IO. P1 will come out for IO. Now the CPU is idle. Can P2 comes into the CPU? Yes. P2 will be allocated for CPU because P1 is in the IO queue. This is what one advantage. The CPU will not sit idle, and the CPU, the directly processes are interacting. Directly user processes are interacting with the system. The one disadvantage is if P1 requires, there is a no require of IO. If P1 is there, if P1 ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ಇರ್ತತೋ CPU ಒಳಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ನಿಮಗೆ P2 ಮತ್ತು P3 ಅನ್ನ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. This is what a disadvantage of multi-programming. Have you clear with the multi-programming operating system? Well, my dear students, this completes the multi-programming. Now multitasking gonna discuss. Yes, how the multi-programming is working, like that same working style of the operating system, but it is multitasking by time slice. On the time slice and apply ಮಾಡಿರ್ತತಿ 2 seconds. 2 seconds in the sense P1 enters into the CPU. How much time it is going to execute? It requires 2 minutes to complete its task, but the multitasking operating system is going to tell it you need to complete or you need to be in a CPU only for 2 seconds, because the condition is like that. Multitasking is extension of multi-programming anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ the same work but one difference is 2 seconds. It is also called as time sharing operating system. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಹೋಯಿತು. ಯಾವುದು? ದ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್, ದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ P2 and P3. ಯಾವುದು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದಗಣ ಒಂದು CPU ಐಡಲ್ ಉಳಿಯಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಸ್ ವೇಟು ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದರದೇ ಆದ ಟೈಮ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಟಾಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಟಾಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್. Have you clear? Have you clear? Now come to here. Have you clear? Raise your hands. Yes. Now come to this part. Real-time operating system. The real-time operating system is going to deal with a time bounding. It is present in the system's machines. It is present with the machines like Microsoft oven. Micro oven, washing machine, Xerox machine. Allellavу operating system irtada. That will be hardware, but a hardware is ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣದಾದ small partial operating system ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ to maintain the timers. That kind of operating systems are called as a real-time operating system. Again, the real-time operating system is divided into two parts. One is hard real-time operating system, and the other one is soft real-time operating system. The hard real-time operating system is fixed with important gadgets like missiles, army missiles. The soft real-time operating systems are fixed with home-based appliances like micro ovens, wash machine, Xerox. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ is with gadgets like military, army missiles, because if there is a loss in time, there will be a huge loss. Time bounding strong ididilla antandre that will be a huge loss. The time is up now. Thank you for attending the class. It may end any time. I hope the revision class, the part 2 will be continuing in the next class. The part 2, there we are going to learn the services of operating systems. Lastly, service operating system calls, and virtual machine concept and structure of operating system. 3 revision points are there in the next session. I hope all are clear. The distributor will be continued in the next class. Thank you very much. The session is going to end now.